Some people think that the government is responsible for the rise in obesity in children, while others think it is the fault of the parents. Discuss both sides and give your opinion.
Childhood obesity has become a serious issue in many countries across the world. While some people blame the government for the rise in childhood obesity, others believe that parents are responsible. In this essay, we will examine both sides of the argument and provide our opinion. Those who believe that the government is responsible for childhood obesity argue that the government has failed to implement effective policies to combat the issue. They point out that many schools still offer unhealthy food options, and junk food is still widely available in vending machines and school events. Furthermore, they argue that the government has not done enough to promote physical activity among children. While some countries have implemented measures such as calorie labeling, taxes on sugary drinks, and restrictions on junk food advertising, many people argue that more needs to be done. On the other hand, those who blame parents for childhood obesity argue that parents are responsible for what their children eat and how active they are. They point out that parents are the ones who buy the food and make the decisions about what their children eat. Additionally, parents are responsible for encouraging their children to engage in physical activities and limit screen time. One of the primary reasons why some children consume unhealthy foods is that their parents buy these items. Parents who purchase fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins instead of sugary drinks, processed foods, and fast food can significantly reduce their children's risk of obesity. Additionally, parents can encourage their children to be physically active by taking them to the park or participating in sports activities with them. However, it is also true that the government has a critical role to play in preventing childhood obesity. Governments can implement policies that make healthy foods more affordable and widely available, restrict unhealthy food advertising, and promote physical activity among children. For example, schools can offer healthy meals and snacks, and physical education classes can be made mandatory. In my opinion, both the government and parents have a responsibility to address the issue of childhood obesity. While the government should implement policies to promote healthy eating and physical activity, parents should also provide their children with healthy food options and encourage them to be physically active. By working together, we can ensure that our children grow up healthy and strong.
The government should lower the budget on the arts in order to allocate more money to education. To what extent do you agree?
Art and education are both important components of a society, and the question of whether the government should lower the budget on the arts to allocate more money to education is a contentious one. While some people believe that the government should prioritize education over the arts, others argue that the arts are equally important and that both should be funded adequately. In this essay, we will examine both sides of the argument and provide our opinion. Those who argue that the government should reduce the budget on the arts in favor of education claim that education is critical to the development and success of a nation. They point out that investing in education can have a significant impact on a country's economic growth and social development. Moreover, education is a basic right that every citizen should have access to. Therefore, the government should allocate more resources to ensure that everyone has access to quality education. On the other hand, those who believe that the arts should receive equal funding as education argue that the arts play an important role in society. They assert that the arts are essential for promoting creativity, imagination, and critical thinking skills, which are critical to the development of well-rounded individuals. The arts also provide an avenue for individuals to express themselves and communicate their ideas. Additionally, funding the arts can boost tourism and generate revenue for the economy. However, it is important to note that reducing the budget on the arts does not necessarily mean that education will receive more funding. The government may choose to allocate the funds saved from the arts to other areas rather than education. Therefore, it is important to consider the impact of such a decision. In my opinion, the government should not lower the budget on the arts to allocate more money to education. Both the arts and education are vital components of a society, and it is crucial to fund both adequately. Education should not be prioritized over the arts, and vice versa. Instead, the government should find ways to allocate sufficient funding to both areas. For instance, the government can explore alternative sources of funding for the arts, such as private donations and corporate sponsorships. In conclusion, while education is critical to a nation's success, the arts also play an important role in society. Reducing the budget on the arts to allocate more money to education is not the solution. Instead, the government should find ways to fund both areas sufficiently.
Some people think that only the government can make significant changes in society, while others think that individuals can have a lot of influence. What is your opinion?
The question of whether significant changes in society can only be made by the government, or if individuals can have a lot of influence, is an interesting one. While some people believe that only the government can bring about significant changes, others argue that individuals can also have a significant impact on society. In this essay, we will examine both sides of the argument and provide our opinion. Those who believe that only the government can make significant changes in society argue that the government has the power and resources to implement policies that can affect large populations. The government has the authority to create and enforce laws, provide public services, and manage public resources. Therefore, it can make decisions and take actions that have a profound impact on society. Additionally, governments have the ability to mobilize large-scale initiatives to address complex issues such as poverty, inequality, and climate change. On the other hand, those who argue that individuals can have a lot of influence point out that societal changes often start with individual actions. They assert that individuals have the power to bring about change through their beliefs, attitudes, and actions. For instance, individual efforts to reduce waste, use public transport, and support local businesses can contribute to the larger effort to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. Additionally, individual efforts to advocate for human rights, social justice, and equality can raise awareness and mobilize support for these issues. In our opinion, both the government and individuals can have a significant impact on society. While the government has the power and resources to make significant changes, individuals can also contribute to societal changes through their actions and beliefs. Therefore, it is important to recognize the role of both government and individuals in bringing about societal changes. In conclusion, the question of whether only the government can bring about significant changes or if individuals can have a lot of influence is a complex one. While the government has the authority and resources to implement large-scale initiatives, individuals can also contribute to societal changes through their actions and beliefs. Therefore, both the government and individuals have a critical role to play in bringing about significant changes in society.
A government has a responsibility to its citizens to ensure their safety. Therefore, some people think that the government should increase spending on defense, but spend less on social benefits. To what extent do you agree?
The role of the government is to ensure the safety and well-being of its citizens. One way to do this is by increasing spending on defense, but at the expense of social benefits. This has been a subject of debate for some time, with some arguing that defense spending should take priority over social benefits, while others believe that social benefits are equally important. In this essay, we will examine both sides of the argument and provide our opinion. Those who advocate for increased spending on defense at the expense of social benefits argue that a strong military is necessary to ensure national security. They point out that in today's world, countries face a range of security threats, including terrorism and cyber attacks. Therefore, it is important for governments to invest in their military to protect their citizens from harm. Additionally, a strong military can deter potential aggressors, thereby ensuring peace and stability. On the other hand, those who oppose the idea of increasing defense spending at the expense of social benefits argue that social benefits are critical to the well-being of citizens. They assert that social benefits such as healthcare, education, and housing are essential for promoting the welfare of citizens. Furthermore, investing in social benefits can have a positive impact on economic growth and social development. By ensuring that citizens have access to essential services and resources, governments can create a more productive and prosperous society. In my opinion, a government should not increase spending on defense at the expense of social benefits. Both defense and social benefits are important components of a functioning society, and it is important to fund both adequately. While ensuring national security is critical, investing in social benefits is also essential for promoting the welfare of citizens. Therefore, governments should find ways to balance their spending priorities to ensure that both defense and social benefits are adequately funded. In conclusion, while governments have a responsibility to ensure the safety and well-being of their citizens, increasing spending on defense at the expense of social benefits is not the solution. Both defense and social benefits are important components of a functioning society, and it is important to fund both adequately. Therefore, governments should strive to find a balance between these priorities to ensure the welfare of citizens.
For additional essays with 7+ band score, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you would like to request for an essay on particular topic, please add the details in a comment.